Happy Z6ii release day. It's our first day on YouTube, so I'm recording the audio through the phone here. Seems to be working out pretty well so far. Tim and I are up in the cottage this week and thought that I would make a quick video specifically for what the Z6ii means for wedding photographers. And it is kind of the camera that I had been waiting for quite some time. It's what I wish the Z6 would have been when it was released, which is simply 2 card slots. Everything about the Z6 was really fantastic. I know that I've complained a little bit about the autofocus system, and that is simply because it's just not quite there yet. And I'm hoping with the small updates that they've done to the Z6ii, including the dual processors and a lot of small things, hopefully go into better overall autofocus. I find specifically when it comes to Nikon that I have to just be a little bit more hands-on with the autofocus, that it does get there. It is what I want it to be. It just takes a little bit more effort on my part as the photographer. One happy addition for a lot of people, I think, is going to be that you can actually now have a grip, so you can make the camera body a little bit larger if you want. I've had a lot of comments that it's just lacking it, and it's a piece that is needed for a lot of photographers. I personally, on a wedding day, I don't use one, but to have the option is very nice. Another benefit, similar to the Z5 that we're filming this on, that you can now run a backup power pack. So if you have one of those small power packs for your phone, you can actually run that to the camera while it's recording, so you can get much longer record times if you're doing time lapses, that type of thing. It's very nice to not have to turn the camera entirely off in order to charge it that way, that now you just plug it in and get the new batteries and you're ready to go. To talk to some of the points about why we actually really love the Z6, it's the colors, the files that come off of it. The sensor hasn't really changed since the original Z6, which might seem a bit weird, but Tim and I have used that Z6 sensor out in the field, out in every environment imaginable with the Nikon Z series glass, and we've just had really fantastic results. For wedding photographers, the most important thing, 2 card slots. You now have backup redundancy. Nikon says that they listen to the consumers. I wish that it just would have come out that way in the beginning and just had 2 card slots, but took a minute to get there. But now it will be my recommendation for a Nikon camera for wedding photography. To speak a little bit more about why we love the original Z6 and things that actually did get a little bit better, the buffer speed, if you're a hybrid shooter, if you're doing photography and video on a wedding day, it is now even faster. So basically that means that there was no delay prior to this going between photo and video mode. So you can take a bunch of raw photos, switch to video, and instantly be recording, which is something I need as somebody that does both photography and a highlight film. Now that's even faster and easier. No blackout, or less blackout, I guess I should say, than the Z6. I didn't really find it to be a problem, but I know there were a lot of complaints about that. So now there is less blackout. We'll see what that actually looks like when we get our hands on a camera. Another cool thing with eye autofocus specifically, now that works in video, which is great. And also you can do eye and face detect in different autofocus modes, or at least in the wide autofocus mode. Prior to that, as you may have saw on the Z5 video I did a couple of weeks ago, that you have to rely on all points, kind of all auto AF, in order to use face and eye detect. I'm not sure if that's going to trickle down in a firmware upgrade. I kind of hope that it does, so that I'm able to do that in here. Again, as I mentioned, that you have to be a little bit more hands-on with the autofocus system, and that is one very nice tool to have, that you can select kind of the box that you want, and then eye and face detect can work within that, which is really cool. And the one way that Nikon has always stood out, specifically with the Z series cameras, is their price point, both in their actual bodies, which are very reasonably priced for the amount of features you get. Go check out like the full feature list, because it's actually pretty crazy what you get with the Z6 II. But really, for anything in that price point, this is the camera to get. And also with that comes the Z series glass, which they designed a number of 1.8 lenses off the start, which is a lot of people saw that as a negative. I saw that as a positive, that everything is small and a lot less expensive than a couple other camera manufacturers. So I'm happy to have a bunch of those 1.8 primes in my bag, because I'm able to afford a number of them rather than just one single lens. And when we're out traveling and we're doing things that are not weddings, or even on a wedding day, to have them just all in your bag ready to go, it's a lot better of a user experience for me. So this is the wedding photography camera if you are on the Nikon system. If you have old Nikon lenses, get that Z adapter. That's all I have to say from this morning. Sounds like we're about to get hit by a tractor. As the tractor gets a little bit louder, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It really does help this video get seen. So do that for me, please. Check out this fresh corduroy.